Hello my sweets, welcome back to Beauty Meets DIY. Thank you so much for watching. So today I bring to you guys a recreation of the oversized wall coffee mug that I posted on my community board not that long ago, and I asked you guys that if you wanted to see a DIY on the inspiration that I showed, to please comment down below coffee please, and a lot of you did comment coffee please, and so today I bring you my take on it. This is the actual inspiration. I gifted this to my mom. It's actually made of real metal, but today we're going to go the affordable route, and so you're going to need one of these plant flower pots from the Dollar Tree, any size that you want, and I'm also going to be using these microwavable plastic plates. It comes 2 in a pack and we're only going to use one. Now I decided to spray paint my pot in white, but remember that you can customize this to any color that you want. So first things first, you want to go ahead and find your center point of your pot. And so this is how I did it. There's probably an easier way of doing this, but this is how I went ahead and found my center point. And so you want to do it for your pot, and you also want to do it for your plate. So once I do that, I make a marking, and I'm going to go ahead and tape it. And here I'm using my hot knife. If you find another way of doing this, whether it's using some heavy duty scissors or an X-Acto knife of some kind or something like that, but this is what I had, and it works really well. It is plastic and it just kind of melts it away very easily, as you can see. And I got this at Michael's, and I did use a coupon, but I've also seen them at Walmart. You can also use like a wood burning tool, I think is what it's called as well. So you want to go ahead and give it a quick sand, just to kind of sand down the sharp edges that you're left with. And now I'm going to go ahead and tape it off, because I decided to go ahead and spray paint the trim of my plate black, but you can definitely go ahead and paint it on. I just decided to spray paint this since I already had it on hand. So as you can see, I do recommend that you spray paint your pot inside as well. I didn't do that, and my paint was chipping off and it kind of bubbled up a little bit. Not too bad, but it did. And so I do recommend that you use a very light sandpaper and give it a light sand, just so that the paint has something to adhere to, and that your paint doesn't start chipping off. So this trim right here, I used some tape that I had on hand. I put my hot glue gun on low. You can definitely paint that on if you want, but I had some black tape and I just went ahead and trimmed off, and it kind of helped hide the imperfections that I was left with. And now I'm just embellishing it with some bling wrap that I had as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Here I'm just trimming it off with some, another narrow tape that I had. But like I said, you can definitely paint that on. And as you can see, I'm being very careful, because my paint was painting off. I mean, it was chipping off. So again, I do recommend that you go ahead and use that light sandpaper, nothing rough, just a very light sandpaper. I know they come in different grades, so you want like a low grade sandpaper. Give it like a light sand, and then that way your paint has something to adhere to, and then it won't chip. So here I'm going to go ahead, and I decided that I wanted to trim the bottom of our plate, and so obviously it needs to curve as you glue it on. So this is a little tip that I learned over from my friend Elaine Petrakis. Elaine, I hope I'm not butchering your last name, but I know she watches my videos. I love her. She's an I can't remember her channel, Midnight Owl. I'm sorry, Elaine, but she's so awesome. She has a great sense of humor. I love her DIYs, and she's such a nice friend, very sweet. Go check her out. I will link her down below. But she gave me the tip to trim the maybe like the first 2 rows. Don't cut all the way through. You cut it the way that I was showing you there, and that's going to allow you to glue it on and curve it as you go. I hope I'm making sense. You might have to rewind a little bit so you can see what I did, but that's kind of like that little tip that she gave me. Right from the top edge there, I trimmed down the first 2 rows of the bling wrap only. So here I went ahead, I do have a Cricut, and I went ahead and printed my Word. I will leave the link down below to the font that I used. But it requires that I use some kind of a contact paper to transfer it, but because my paint was chipping, I decided not to do that. Another option is for you to print it out, cut it out, and then Mod Podge it to the pot, or you can use sticker letters. So this is what I ended up having to do very, very carefully. As you can see, the letters are very thin and fragile. I had to go ahead and instead of transferring it with my sticky tape, I had to manually do it. But it turned out okay. Normally with the Cricut, you know, if you're familiar with it, at this point you just put some contact sticky paper on top and then you transfer it over to your surface. But like I said, because my paint was chipping off, I was afraid that when I would pull it off, it would also peel off my paint. So here I am fiddling with it. It was a hot mess. So they were just getting all intertwined. I was trying to get it straight and it was just crazy, but in the end I did do it and it came out just fine. And I do love this font, and like I said, I will link it down below for you guys. And like I mentioned, if you don't have a Cricut, I know a lot of you don't, you can print out letters and Mod Podge them, or you can use sticker letters. Alright, so now I recommend for this part that you use your strongest glue. For the video, I'm going to just use hot glue. You want to go ahead and find your center point to go ahead and glue your base. You want to definitely make sure that you glue it and that they're flush to each other along the edge there as you glue it on. And as you glue it on, just make sure that your cup or your pot is standing up straight. And then you're going to go ahead and use a little clip of some kind and clip it on there while it dries. So now to hang our piece on the wall, I decided to use these little popsicle sticks, if that's what you call it, little that I think I found at the Dollar Tree. You can pretty much find them anywhere, or these Jenga block type of a thing that I had glued together from a previous project. But I'm just going to use one single one on either side, and that's going to help support my popsicle sticks once I glue them on together. And I'm using a total of 3 popsicle sticks, as you can see here. This is a very, very light piece, you guys. It's not like the original. The original is, you know, real metal. But this is very light, and so using this right here would be just fine. So now to hang it up, you can use the back of a frame, those little clips that come behind of a picture frame, or you can use these little clips right here, or you can just use a paper clip as well. Whatever it is that you want to use, I'm going to go ahead and use this right here. You want to glue it on there, and then just to reinforce it, I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of the popsicle sticks that I cut. And so this is what I'm going to use to hang it up on the wall. And okay, so now to create our little swirlies, so to speak, what would serve to be as our little steam that comes out of our coffee cup or our teacup, I'm using these little tiaras from the Dollar Tree. They come 4 in a pack. And so what you want to do is you want to disconnect them, and they do have those little staples in there that are holding the little cardboard piece. You want to remove those as well. For this one, like I said, they come 4 in a pack, but I think for one of the swirls I ended up using, I think for both of them, for each one I ended up using 3. You're going to need a total of 2 packs. So go ahead and use 3, or however many you want. It depends how tall or short you want, or how many swirlies you want in your cup. I only ended up using 2 of them. I know the original inspiration has 3, but it was a slightly bigger cup. This one is a tad smaller, but not by much. So go ahead and take your first one, and in the bottom there you're just going to use your glue. The hot glue did just fine, but if you want, you can go ahead and use your strongest glue. That's fine. Just make sure that you put a good amount of glue there. Make sure that it's adhered well. And so these 3 pieces, you just want to go ahead and attach them to each other. And so now you want to grab something like this, some kind of a cylinder, something round, and just wrap it around it so it can help give it that circular shape for you guys. And then from there, you just kind of want to, play around with it and mold it to your liking. However you want to mimic the inspiration, or how you want your steam, so to speak, to look like. Here you see that I'm stretching it out because I want one of them to be taller than the other. As you will see in the final clip when I show you the end result. And so that's kind of like what you do. This is kind of like an aluminum metal piece, and it's very flexible, so it's very easy to work with. So right here I'm just kind of positioning them to see how I want it to look, and I'm just going to go ahead and very simply I'm just going to glue it to the edge of our cup, just like this. Just make sure, if you want to reinforce it with something else back there, go ahead. I use the hot glue. I always use the Gorilla brand hot glue sticks. I love those. They are very strong, and I just don't use anything else. So it was fine. It held pretty well. And so you want to reinforce it in there. You want to position them however which way you want. And now for our little cup handle, I'm going to be using this little plant hook here. You want to go ahead and remove your butterfly. Very easy to remove. You just go back and forth, as you can see here. You give that a go a few times and it just snaps right off. Here I have my handy dandy tool, my little wire cutter, and that little where we just disconnected it, I'm gonna use that as my starting point. And basically I'm just gonna clip it there. And then again, with the same back and forth motion coming up, what I mean, you'll see, you just go back and forth a few times and it snaps off. So now you want to go ahead and position it where you want it or how you want it to look. I decided to clip off just a little bit more, just a tad more. And this is also very pliable, very flexible. You can kind of bend it and stretch it out however which way you want, and that's what I did. Now to attach this, you can drill 2 holes, or with your hot glue gun you can drill, being that this is plastic. I went ahead and used the hot glue. It might not be long term, so if you want it to be long term, go ahead and use your strongest glue or drill those holes in there. And that's it, you guys, and this is the end result of our oversized large wall conversation piece coffee mug. This doesn't have to be a coffee mug for my tea lovers out there. I do like tea as well, so this can be coffee, this could be tea, latte, whatever it is that you want to call it. When you print out your letters, you can put tea there instead of coffee, or latte. Whatever it is, you can put a coffee quote or anything it is that you want to do. Again, you guys, I'm always just here to give you inspiration and ideas, and then the rest, you guys take your creative minds and do your own little take on it. Again, you can customize this to any color that you want. Use whatever color bling wrap. You can use the bling wrap. You don't have to use the bling wrap, and it's entirely up to you. I really am dying to know what you guys think about the recreation. Do you think that I did a good job? Do you think I deserve a thumbs up? And if I do, please give them to me. It lets me know that you want more videos from me, and I'll definitely keep them coming if I see those thumbs up. So yeah, I did decide to add the little fairy lights there just to give it kind of that nice effect at night when you dim the lights in your kitchen. But yeah, and I really do like the way that turned out. And as you can see, I also wanted to mention the backsplash is holding up pretty well, you guys. If you want to try that, just to give you an update, I haven't had any issues with it. And I think it just coordinates very well with my new coffee cup on the wall there. So let me know if you guys are going to try this. I want to hear from you guys your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you very soon on my next DIY. Bye everyone.